Close your eyes now and let the physical world around you soften into a blur of gentle shapes and muted colors. Take a deep, slow breath in, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and then release it slowly, letting your shoulders drop, letting your jaw unclench, letting the tension of the day dissolve like mist under the morning sun. We are here to explore the quiet corners of human connection, to look at the different ways we relate to one another without judgment, without urgency, simply observing the intricate web of relationships that make up a life. Tonight, we turn our attention to a curious duality, a study of two distinct worlds that many of us inhabit, the world of the day and the world of the night, the sphere of the professional and the sphere of the personal. We often hear the terms thrown around in casual conversation, the idea of a work spouse, a work wife, or a work husband, contrasted against the reality of a life partner, a real wife or husband waiting in the sanctuary of home. It is a fascinating subject, not because of drama or conflict, but because it reveals how multifaceted we are as human beings, how we can be one person under the fluorescent lights of an office and a completely different person under the soft glow of a bedside lamp. Let us drift first into the realm of the day. Imagine the structure of the morning, the rhythm of the commute, the sound of the city waking up. There is a geometry to the workday, sharp lines, clear objectives, the hum of computers and the click of keyboards. In this environment, we put on our armor. We wear our professional faces, polished, capable, and perhaps a little guarded. It is here, in this landscape of deadlines and meetings, that the work wife exists. Think of this relationship not as a romance, but as a specialized alliance, a partnership forged in the trenches of commerce and duty. The work wife is the person who knows the specific language of your career. She understands the acronyms, the unspoken politics of the conference room, the peculiar habits of the boss. She is the keeper of a very specific set of memories. Memories that only exist between the hours of 9 and 5. When you glance across the meeting table and share a knowing look, a microscopic shift in expression that says everything without a word being spoken, that is the essence of this bond. It is a relationship built on shared context. Imagine the sensory details of this connection. It smells like fresh coffee in a break room, the scent of dry erase markers and ozone. It sounds like the quiet murmur of venting frustration before a big presentation. It feels like the relief of having an ally in a high-stakes environment. This connection is vital. It is a survival mechanism. In the ecosystem of work, where stress can run high and expectations are heavy, having someone who acts as a grounding wire is a profound comfort. But let us look deeper at the texture of this dynamic. The work wife knows which emails make you anxious. She knows how you take your tea when the afternoon slump hits. She knows the names of your children and the vague outlines of your weekend plans. Yet, there is a boundary, a glass wall that remains clear and present. This intimacy is situational. It is tied to the desk, to the project, to the building. It is a friendship that thrives in the light of day, fueled by the adrenaline of problem solving. Consider the flow of conversation with a work wife. It is often rapid, efficient, laced with a shorthand that would be unintelligible to anyone outside the company. It is a dance of intellect and productivity. You rely on each other to fill in the gaps, to cover the blind spots. It is a functional harmony, like two musicians playing a complex duet, strictly following the sheet music of the profession. There is a beauty in that competency, a satisfaction in knowing that someone has your back when the pressure mounts. It is interesting to consider why we use the word wife or spouse for this role. Perhaps it is because we spend more waking hours with our colleagues than we do with our families. During the busy seasons, the crunch times, you exist in the same orbit for 8, 10, sometimes 12 hours a day. You eat lunch together. You walk to the elevator together. You navigate the emotional weather of the office together. It mimics a marriage in its constancy, in its proximity. You witness each other's stress, each other's triumphs, and each other's mundane moments of boredom. Yet, it lacks the weight of shared destiny. The work wife does not share your bank account. She does not know the way you look when you first wake up. She does not hold the heavy silence of your deepest griefs, or the soft vulnerability of your dreams for the distant future. Her role is to be the co-pilot of the present moment, steering the ship of the workday through calm and storm alike. It is a relationship of the mind, of the calendar, of the immediate task. Visualize the office environment again, the way the light falls across the desk, the precise arrangement of papers. The work wife is part of this landscape. She is a fixture of your professional identity. When you are with her, you are the work you, the version of yourself that is ambitious, organized, perhaps a bit wittier, a bit sharper. You are performing the role you were hired to play, and she is the perfect scene partner, allowing you to shine, while you do the same for her. There's a safety in this, a lack of complication. The stakes, while high professionally, are low emotionally. If the company were to dissolve tomorrow, the bond would likely fade, turning into a casual check-in now and then, before drifting into memory. That is the transient nature of the work spouse. It is intense. It is necessary. But it is often anchored to the location, to the job itself. As we continue to breathe deeply, let us appreciate this relationship for what it is, without confusing it for something else. It is a friendship of utility and camaraderie, a bright spot in the gray routine of labor. It allows us to feel seen and understood in a place where we often feel like mere cogs in a machine. The work wife humanizes the workspace. She brings warmth to the fluorescent cold. She turns a stressful Tuesday into something manageable, even enjoyable. Let your mind wander through the corridors of your own history, remembering the allies you have had in various jobs, the people who made the days go faster, who made the difficult tasks lighter. There is a gratitude there, a gentle appreciation for the people who help us carry the load of our professional lives. They are the guardians of our sanity during the daylight hours. But as the sun begins to dip lower in the sky, as the monitors are powered down, and the office lights flicker off one by one, the dynamic changes. The role of the work wife ends at the revolving door. The shared language of the office falls silent. The armor is ready to be taken off. We begin the transition, the slow migration from the public self back to the private self, leaving the realm of the colleague behind and preparing to enter the sanctuary of the true partner, the real life. Feel the shift in the atmosphere, the slowing down of the pulse, The sharp angles of the office are fading now, replaced by thoughts of something softer, deeper, more enduring. We have honored the day. We have acknowledged the importance of the work companion. And now we are ready to turn our eyes toward home, toward the heart, toward the profound difference between a partnership of circumstance and a partnership of the soul. Rest here for a moment, in this space between worlds, holding the gratitude for the day's allies, while opening your heart to the deeper connections that await in the evening's embrace. Simply breathing, simply being, waiting to explore what lies beyond the threshold of work. As we move through this twilight space, this transit between the distinct universes of our lives, notice how the rhythm of the world begins to change. The frantic energy of the day dissolves into the steady hum of the journey home. The city lights blur into streaks of amber and gold outside the window, painting a soft abstraction of the world you are leaving behind. In this vessel of transport, be it a car, a train, or simply the rhythmic cadence of your own footsteps, you are shedding a skin. Think for a moment, with gentle detachment, of the dynamic you have just stepped away from. The work wife, the work husband. That unique partnership of the daylight hours. It is a bond forged in the fires of deadlines and the shared ventilation of office air. It is a relationship of necessity, of proximity, and often of genuine platonic affection. It is clean. It has boundaries defined by job descriptions and the hours of 9 to 5. In that space, you are seen for your competence, for your ability to solve problems, for the professional mask you wear so well. But as the miles pass and the distance from the office grows, that version of you begins to fade, like a radio signal losing its strength. The witty banter about the coffee machine, the shared glances during a long meeting, the mutual venting about a difficult client. These things are important. They sustain us. Yet they belong to a specific frequency. They are the surface currents of the ocean, choppy, visible, necessary for navigation, but they do not touch the ocean floor. Now, turn your awareness forward, toward the destination, toward the magnetic pull of the sanctuary. Here, the texture of the relationship changes entirely. You are approaching the realm of the real wife, the true partner, the keeper of the hearth. This is not a partnership of circumstance, but a covenant of history. As you turn the corner onto your street, the very air feels different. Thicker perhaps, but richer, filled with the gravity of shared life. The house stands there, a vessel containing 1,000 memories and 1,000 more waiting to be made. The lights in the windows are not the harsh fluorescence of the boardroom, but the warm, inviting glow of a lamp turned on by hands that know you better than you know yourself. Consider the profound difference in the silence. With the work companion, silence is often something to be filled, a gap in the workflow, a pause in the collaboration. But with the partner of your soul, silence is a language all its own. It is a comfortable weight, a shared blanket. It is the ability to be in the same room, breathing the same air, without the need to perform, without the need to impress. You approach the door. The key slides into the lock with a familiar click, a sound that signals the final crossing of the threshold. The armor falls away completely now. You step inside, and the smell of home greets you. It might be the scent of dinner, or fresh laundry, or simply that indescribable essence of safety. And there she is. Or perhaps she's nearby, moving through the rooms of your shared existence. When you look at her, you are not seeing a colleague who knows your email signature. You are seeing the witness to your life. The work wife knows how you take your coffee, but the real wife knows how you take your grief. She knows the sound of your breath when you are sleeping. She knows the insecurities you hide from the world, the fears that keep you awake, and the dreams you are too shy to speak aloud in the light of day. This is a terrifying and beautiful vulnerability, one that cannot exist under the bright lights of the office. Move into this space. Feel the embrace of the domestic sphere. It is softer here, less angular. The conversations change. They are no longer about quarterly targets or strategic alignments. They are about the weaving together of two lives, threads of small details, the health of a parent, the leak in the roof, the color of the wall, the feeling of the day. There is a deep, abiding relaxation in realizing you do not have to be on. The performance is over. The real wife sees the tired you, the worn out you, the version of you that has nothing left to give to the economy, and she offers a place to rest. This is the sacred contrast. The work partnership gets the best of your energy, the peak of your focus, but the home partnership gets the truth of your soul. Imagine sitting down now, sinking into the cushions of your life. The noise of the outside world is muffled by the walls you have built together. You look at her, and you see the layers of time. You see the young woman you met, the bride you married, the partner who has walked beside you through valleys and over peaks that no coworker could ever comprehend. There is a weight to this relationship, but it is the grounding weight of an anchor, not the burden of a stone. It holds you steady when the storms of the professional world try to blow you off course. While the work wife might offer a sympathetic ear for a bad boss, the real wife offers a hand to hold when the very foundation of your world shakes. She is the constant, the variable that does not change when the project is filed or the company restructures. Breathe into that constancy. Let it fill your lungs like cool evening air. Notice the texture of her hand or the familiar cadence of her voice as she asks about your day. It is a ritual, this re-entry. You exchange the data of the day, handing over the fragmented stories of the office, and she receives them, not because she is invested in the company, but because she is invested in you. She helps you unpack the mental briefcase, taking out the worries one by one and setting them aside. In this sanctuary, the hierarchy of the office dissolves. There is no manager, no subordinate, only two equals navigating the beautiful, messy, complex terrain of a life shared. The intimacy here is woven from a million small moments. A shared glance that says, "I know." A touch on the shoulder that says, "I am here." A laughter that stems from an inside joke a decade old. The work wife is a mirror reflecting your professional persona, showing you the capable worker you want to be. But the real wife is a deep pool, reflecting the entirety of your being, the shadows and the light. And in her eyes, you find acceptance not for what you do, but for who you are. Feel the tension draining from your shoulders, the knot in your stomach loosening. You are safe here. The demands of the world are locked outside, and you are cocooned in the reality of love, not the transaction of labor. As the evening deepens, the contrast softens. The memory of the office becomes a distant echo, barely audible over the quiet hum of the household. You are returning to the center, to the core. The roles you played today are hung up in the closet with your coat, and you are left with the simple, naked truth of being a husband, a partner, a human being at rest. Rest in this knowledge that while the days are filled with necessary alliances and transient bonds, the nights belong to the eternal, to the promise made in whispers, to the hand that fits perfectly in yours, weathered by the same storms, warmed by the same fires. Let your breathing slow even further now, matching the pace of the house, matching the heartbeat of the one you love. Deeper, slower, drifting away from the surface and sinking into the profound depths of the true partnership, holding space for the gratitude of having a place where you are fully, completely known. Waiting now for the final descent into the restoration of the night. And so, as the silence lengthens, the distinctions become absolute. The world of the day, with its schedules and its urgencies, its meetings and its transient alliances, dissolves into the ether. The figure of the work wife, that companion of deadlines and shared frustrations, that mirror of your professional self, fades entirely from view. She belongs to the realm of the lights, to the fluorescent hum of the office, to the transactional hours where you are defined by what you do rather than who you are. That relationship, helpful as it may be, is a vessel for the voyage of the workday, but it cannot hold the weight of the night. It cannot hold the weight of your soul at rest. Here, in the sanctuary of the bedroom, the air is different. The atmosphere is heavy with a history that no coworker can share. You turn your attention to the presence beside you, or the presence you carry in your heart. The real wife, the keeper of the quiet hours. There is a profound difference between being known for your efficiency and being known for your essence. The work wife knows your calendar. She knows your coffee order and your stress triggers. But the woman who shares your life knows the rhythm of your breath when you are finally asleep. She knows the shadows that cross your face when you think no one is watching. She knows the man beneath the title, the human spirit beneath the suit. Let this realization settle over you like a warm, weighted blanket. The validation of the workplace is a fleeting sugar, a quick burst of energy that burns away, leaving you tired. But the love of a life partner, of a true wife, is a slow burning ember, a hearth that does not go out. It is the fire that warms the bones, deep and abiding. It requires no performance. It asks for no deliverables. It simply asks you to be present, to be vulnerable, to be here. Feel the tension draining from your shoulders now, the last remnants of the armor you wear for the world, in the office, in the dynamic with the work wife. there is always a layer of presentation, a need to be witty or competent or composed. But here, in the dark, the armor is unnecessary. You can be soft. You can be silent. You can be weary. The real wife does not require the mask. She has seen the face behind it 1,000 times, and she loves the face, not the mask. Allow your body to sink deeper into the mattress, feeling the support of the bed rising up to meet you, just as her support rises to meet you in the quiet moments of life. Visualize the cords of connection that tie you to the outside world being gently untied, one by one. The cord of obligation, untied. The cord of professional camaraderie, untied. The cord of shared office humor, untied. They fall away, leaving you floating in the pure, clear water of your true life. In this space, the conversation with the work wife, which seems so engaging at noon, is revealed as a whisper in a storm compared to the silence you share with your wife now. This silence is not empty. It is full. It is built on years of shared mornings, of coffees drunk in pajamas, of worries shared in the kitchen light, of laughter that shakes the walls, of tears that needed no explanation. This is the texture of reality. The other was merely a sketch, a drawing on a whiteboard that can be erased with a single swipe. But this is carved in stone, weathered and beautiful and permanent. Drifting deeper now, let your mind wander through the gallery of memories that belong only to this home, to this relationship. The way the light hits the floorboards in the afternoon, the specific scent of her hair, the way her hand feels when it unconsciously seeks yours in the dark. These are the anchors. The work wife is a passenger on a specific train ride, destined to get off at her station, leaving the seat empty. But your wife, your partner, is the destination itself. She is the home you return to, the gravity that keeps you from floating away into the cold expanse of the world. Breathe in that gravity, slow and deep, holding the air for a moment and releasing it with a sigh of total surrender, deeply, slowly. The contrast is no longer a conflict. It is simply a truth. The day has its players, but the night has its queen, and you are safe in her domain, a domain of softness, of forgiveness, of restoration. Your limbs feel heavy, pleasantly heavy, as if they are turning to liquid, melting into the sheets. The mind slows its spinning. The thoughts of emails and water cooler chats are like leaves blowing away in the wind, getting smaller and smaller until they disappear over the horizon. You are left with the essential, the heartbeat in the room, the rise and fall of the chest beside you, the knowledge that you are not alone in the vastness of the universe. There is a sacredness to this partnership that the workplace can never replicate. A coworker sees the structure of your days, but a wife sees the architecture of your dreams. She holds the blueprints of who you wanted to be and who you are becoming. Rest in that safety, the safety of being fully seen and fully accepted. There is no need to impress here, only a need to rest. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, imagine a soft light glowing in the center of your chest, a warm, golden light. This is the light of your true connection. It radiates outward, filling the room, pushing back the cold, pushing back the demands. It wraps around you and your partner, sealing you both in a cocoon of peace. Nothing can penetrate this cocoon. Not the stress of the deadline, not the expectations of the boss, not the pleasant but shallow bonds of the office. You are cocooned in the real, cocooned in the true. The transient world has stopped spinning. The office is dark. The computers are sleeping. The phones are silent. The work wife is living her own life, far away, in her own reality, separate from yours. But here, the lines of your life and your wife's life are inextricably woven together. A tapestry of shared existence that covers you, warms you, protects you. Sink into that warmth, deeper and deeper. The gratitude for this reality washes over you like a gentle wave. How lucky to have a harbor. How lucky to have a witness to your life who stays when the office lights go out. How lucky to be loved for the man who sleeps, not just the man who works. The breathing is steady now, a rhythmic tide, in and out, in and out, merging with the silence of the house, merging with the stillness of the night. You are floating on a river of tranquility, drifting downstream, away from the noise, towards the ocean of dreams. Everything is in its place. The roles have been shed. The comparisons have vanished. There is only this moment, this breath, this love, heavy and sweet and final. Let go of the last thread of consciousness. Let the hand of sleep take yours, gentle and firm, leading you down, down into the velvet darkness. You are home. You are whole. You are loved. The day is done. The work is finished. The bonds of the moment are loosened, and the bond of a lifetime holds you fast, deeply, safely, completely. Rest now in the arms of the real, in the heart of the true. Sleep. Simply sleep.